Super Mario Party Jamboree just released, so you know what time it is. We're ranking every single character roster across the entire Mario Party franchise. Which one will your favorite Mario Party get? Let's go find out. First up is Mario Party 1, and I'm also going to rank Mario Party 2 alongside with it because they both have the exact same character roster. They have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Wario, and DK. Just a simple 6 character roster. Honestly, nothing too crazy. It's a great starter roster for a game back in 1998 and 1999. You gotta love it. These are characters that you would expect to see in Mario Party, and a majority of them have been recurring across the entire Mario Party franchise, so you like it for that reason. It's a great roster to start off a Mario Party franchise like this for, but I mean, I wish they included a few more characters because in other Mario spin-off games like Mario Kart 64 and the Mario Sports games on 64, there were so many more characters in those respective rosters and the 6 we got in Mario Party. So taking all that into consideration and considering all the future Mario Parties having more characters than this, I'm giving this roster a 2 out of 10. Next, we're jumping to Mario Party 3, which adds 2 more characters to the fold. We got Daisy and Waluigi, who are going to stay as permanent recurring characters from here on out, starting with this game. It's great to see these guys back, especially Waluigi making his debut in Mario Tennis 64, finally make his comeback in Mario Party 3. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10 for the sole reason that, yeah, it's just 2 more characters. It's nothing too crazy, and honestly, it's 2 characters that I wouldn't really play with in any Mario Party game. I usually go with Mario or Donkey Kong when it's up to these characters solely, so it is what it is. But also in Mario Party 3, for some reason, when you play the story mode, you cannot play as Daisy or Waluigi. You're restricted to the 6 characters that you've used in Mario Parties 1 and 2. So that's a little bit of a hindrance right there, but not enough to drop it back down to a 2. A 3 out of 10 is perfectly fine for it. Next up is Mario Party 4, and you're probably a little bit confused right now, like, whoa, I didn't see this many characters when I played Mario Party 4, and you're right. There's really not that many characters. The top 8 characters that you see on the board, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Wario, DK, Daisy, and Waluigi, those are the 8 characters you can play throughout 99% of Mario Party 4, including the main party mode, the story mode, the minigame mode, all the main modes that you would normally enjoy when playing Mario Party 4. However, there are 6 characters at the bottom. You got 5 who are the hosts of some of the boards actually in this game, plus Bowser. You got Toad, Shy Guy, Boo, Koopa Kid, and Bowser. So it's really awesome to see these 6 characters become playable. However, they are only playable in one side mode in Mario Party 4. That is the Beach Volley Folly. They are not playable in any other mode or side mode in Mario Party 4, but it is great that you do get to play as these characters just in one little extra side mode, even if it isn't for the rest of the Mario Party game. And because there's some awesome characters in there, Bowser, Koopa Kid, Koopa, Boo, like almost all these characters are phenomenal and they're fun in their own right. So because of that, I think that's just enough to bump it up another level and make this a 4 out of 10. Next, we're going to take a look at Mario Party E. Now, I don't even know if some of you guys even know that this is a Mario Party game, but it is. It is a physical card reader like board game, and there are only 5 playable characters in this game. You got Mario, Yoshi, Wario, Waluigi, and Daisy. It is weird, and I don't even know what the deal is with that. So apparently, if I'm reading it correctly, that each of these characters are only playable in a specific set of minigames, and more so their own set of minigames. So it's almost you can't even play as each of these characters at the same time. You can only play as one card at a time because, again, it is a card reader game. So you can only play as one character at a time, and they all have exclusive minigames, but these are the only quote-unquote characters that you can play as in this card reader game. The other characters that you'd expect, Luigi, Peach, Donkey Kong, you can't even play as them. So it is what it is. I'm gonna give this a 1 out of 10 just because there's not many modes this game has to offer. It's usually disregarded when you count all the Mario Party games in general, but this one was included and I figured I'd throw it in here regardless. Let's go to Mario Party 5. This is my favorite nostalgic GameCube Mario Party game and probably one of my favorite Mario Party games to date. It has 10 characters, but you guys are looking on the board, there's an 11th one. Donkey Kong is there, playable next to Koopa Kid. Now, again, this is the same thing we talked about in Mario Party 4 with the Beach Volley Folly, except Donkey Kong isn't playable in that mode. He's only playable in the Super Duel mode. And the interesting thing is, compared to 4, the same thing applies. I didn't even mention this when I was talking about Mario Party 4. You have to unlock the character. You have to unlock all those characters in Mario Party 4. You have to unlock Donkey Kong in Super Duel mode in Mario Party 5. All 10 of the other characters are playable in every single mode, with the exception of story mode. You cannot play as Boo, Koopa Kid, or Toad. You can't play as those characters in story mode, but they're playable across every other mode in the game, and all the other 7 characters are playable in every single mode. Donkey Kong restricted to Super Duel mode. Kind of confusing. That's just kind of how the Mario Party series rolls. It is what it is, especially the early games. They get kind of weird like that. But again, 11 characters regardless. Most of the main modes you can play as the first 10. Again, Donkey Kong exclusive Super Duel. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I like the roster. I love love the fact that you can use Koopa Kid in here. He's one of my favorite characters across the entire Mario series. So shout out to him being playable for the first time in Mario Party 5. Boo and Toad making their playable Mario Party debuts as well is really, really cool to see. And you got the most standard cast outside of that as well. So a pretty solid roster. Next up, we got Mario Party 6. And this one is a little bit different than Mario Party 5. First up, we have Toadette in replacing Donkey Kong as a playable character. Except Toadette is now playable in every single mode instead of being restricted to just one mode. And now all of the characters are playable in all of the modes. You don't have to only play as 7 of the characters in a single player story mode, even though there's not really one. There's a single player mode in Mario Party 6, not necessarily a story mode. And because of that, I think that's why they allow you to play as every single character, including Toadette, the unlockable character, if you unlock her at the time. And once you do unlock Toadette, she's playable across every single mode the first time, where you can actually unlock a character that's playable across every single mode in Mario Party instead of just one mini game or one side mode, weirdly enough. So 11 characters in total that are fully playable in Mario Party 6 for the first time ever. That's a great roster to have in a Mario Party, and because of that, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. One of the better rosters in the game, and is one of the reasons why this game is so highly regarded. Next, we're going back down to Mario Party Advance, which actually has the smallest roster across the entire Mario Party franchise with just 4 characters. You can play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, or Yoshi. Now, I played the heck out of this game when I was younger, and I really only played the mini game mode because I was too young and dumb to understand what the heck the main party mode even was for the single player campaign. So I hope this actually gets brought back to Nintendo Switch Online at some point so I can revisit this game and refigure out the single player map mode in this game. So I was really only playing the mini games, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about just these 4 characters, and it's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, compared to the other rosters we got, like, we didn't even get Wario or DK to fill out the 6 characters we needed to match Mario Parties 1 and 2. This game came out almost 5 years later than that. I don't understand what the big deal is. 4 characters just not enough to make it a compelling roster at all. Give me a 1 out of 10. Mario Party 7, as of its release, has the most characters out of any Mario Party leading up to it. It has 12 playable characters, 10 to start, and 2 unlockable characters. Unfortunately, they took out my man Koopa Kid. Really heartbreaking event. Koopa Kid's still in this party, but this is his last ever appearance in a Mario Party, but they took out his playability, which is so unfortunate. It is what it is, though. They replaced him with 2 unlockable characters, first time debutants in a Mario Party game, Birdo and Drybones. So those are good characters to check out as well. And overall, these characters are nice. It's a solid roster, but now I gotta weigh the options: Koopa Kid or Birdo plus Drybones. I know there's more characters in 7, but I like Koopa Kid so much. Like, he's my dude, man. So I think I'm gonna give this a tie and give this game also a 7 out of 10. It's a good roster. I like it, and when I play multi-man parties or whatever, I mainly use the bottom row characters like Toad, Toadette, Boo, and Drybones are usually the most played characters whenever I play Mario Party 7. Now let's talk about Mario Party 8. This one ups the ante even more. It takes the full complete 12 character roster that we had from 7 and adds 2 great characters onto it. Both minions. We get Blooper, the first and only time he is playable in a Mario Party game, and Hammer Bro. My dude, I love Hammer Bro. If they're not gonna bring Koopa Kid back, bring in Hammer Bro. Hammer Bro's such a cool minion and villain in the Mario Party franchise and just Mario series in general. So it's really cool to see Hammer Bro be playable, and I believe this is the first time Hammer Bro has been playable in a game that wasn't a Mario baseball game. So incredibly cool to see, and shout out to Blooper for making an appearance as well. They both were relatively tricky to unlock because they're the 2 unlockable characters in this game, and you have to beat the story mode twice to unlock both of them. One character I forgot to mention though is the Mii. You can play as the Mii in this game, and this is the only Mario Party game where you can play as the Mii, but you can't play as the Mii in a Mario Party match. You can only play them in a side mode. In the side modes where you can play as Mii's. Again, weird that they're excluding characters into these side modes, but because this is a Mii in this instance, I kind of understand it. Not really going to affect my rankings too much. More so the addition of Blooper and Hammer Bro being such cool quality characters being added into the game really elevates this roster. We're going to bring it up to an 8 out of 10. The best one we got so far. Next up, we're going to talk about Mario Party DS. Now, this is a game I haven't played in a hot minute, but it came out shortly after Mario Party 8 came out, and man, from the highs of the roster we got from Mario Party 8 to a crushing reality from Mario Party DS. It's so unfortunate. I know everybody talks so highly about this game, how cool its story mode is, how unique the boards are, and the music and everything like that, but when it comes to the character roster, it just feels so uninspired compared to the rest of the Mario Party games we've seen before. Again, I know it's a handheld Mario Party, and it's the first one we've seen since Advance, but they could have done a little bit better than this. You basically have your Mario Party 3 roster, except you're switching out Donkey Kong for Toad, and I think that's honestly a like for like. There's really no preference there whether I prefer Donkey Kong or Toad. It is what it is in my opinion. Both balances out relatively equally. So I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 10. There's really no increasing this roster for me. Again, the game is great. I like its mini game, but the character roster is really lackluster. Mario Party 9, a very interesting Mario Party game, and probably the one I've logged the least amount of hours in. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I just never really got well along with this game. I think also this game just came out too close to the Wii U, that as soon as I got the Wii U for Christmas that year it came out, I kind of left Mario Party 9 in the dust. So I don't have as much fond nostalgic memories with this game as I have with many of the previous Mario Parties from 8 onwards. Regardless though, it has a solid character roster. It's nothing crazy. It replaces some of my favorite characters for some decent characters. So it's the same roster as Mario Party 7, except this roster has Koopa and unlockable characters Shy Guy and Kamek. Those 3 characters replace Toadette, Boo, and Dry Bones from Mario Party 7. 3 amazing characters that I would have loved to have still kept in this series, but introducing new characters is always fun and makes for a brand new identity for the game, so I completely understand that, and it truly makes Mario Party 9 stand out as one of its own. However, I think if you balance out all those character options, these are the same 12 characters that you would normally get anyway. You know, the usual 7 or so that you get, and then the 3 extra additions, which is fine. Just a couple of minion characters that I'm not too crazy about, at least in terms of who they subbed out to sub in. I'm going to balance it out. It's the same worth for me, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Next up, we're going to talk about Mario Party Island Tour. This one is rather interesting for me because we have 10 characters, okay? We got the same 10 characters as we had in Mario Party 5, one of my favorite Mario Parties to date, except they swapped out Koopa Kid for Bowser Jr. Now, I know some of you are thinking, GWallPro, that's not the big deal. That's really nothing. That's a nothing change. Honestly, that might even be a better change. Taking out a character that's irrelevant for a character that's so prevalent in the Mario series, it makes more sense to include him. And for most of the reasons, I would say that you're right. However, I have such huge nostalgic bias towards Koopa Kid as a character in general that I just can't help but see the change to Bowser Jr. as just kind of a slight downgrade where I'm like, Koopa Kid was the Mario Party Bowser minion, and now you just replace him with the basic standard Bowser Jr., which, don't get me wrong, I love Bowser Jr. He's a really cool enemy and character in the Mario series, but when you've had experience playing as Koopa Kid before, now you play a game that has Bowser Jr., you just can't help but be like, oh man, what could have been? Plus, anyways, in Mario Party 5 also had the unlockable DK and Super Duel mode, so yes, I am using that as sort of my leverage point to bring this party just 1 point lower than Mario Party 5. You could argue that it would be weighted the same, but we need something in the 5 out of 10 category, so Mario Party Island Tour gets a 5 out of 10 for me. Mario Party 10 is up next, and my goodness, this game was so incredibly forgettable. It just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but we gotta count it anyway because we gotta count its character roster. And for what, like the second or third time in a row now, we have a character roster of 12 characters. It just seems like 12 is the magic number when it comes to Mario Party games, but as we'll soon find out, they're gonna blow right past that number. So Mario Party 10 though, 12 characters. And what are some of the newcomers this time? We got Rosalina, playable for the first time in a Mario Party game, and Spike, the enemy, also playable for the first time in a Mario Party, which I find really cool. Nice to get a new enemy in there. And also Donkey Kong makes his grand return after being just part of the board and having his own space for a while after Mario Party 4. So great to see Donkey Kong playable in a Mario Party once again. So in Mario Party 7 terms, they basically added Rosalina, DK, and Spike and replaced Birdo, Boo, and Dry Bones. I don't necessarily know how I feel about that. Again, I think what I'm gonna do is just weigh it the same. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. There's really no characters here that I'm like, oh, I'd much rather play as them than these characters, because yes, it's really cool and I really enjoy playing as Rosalina and Spike in Mario Party 10, but then again, I'm not even gonna play Mario Party 10 that often. Regardless though, when you play as those characters compared to playing as someone like Boo or Dry Bones in Mario Party 7, you know, it kind of weighs out the same for me, and every other character is pretty much just the same, so you can't really weigh them against each other in the grand scheme of things. All right, this next roster is going to be a little bit confusing, so stay with me, but we have Mario Party Star Rush. Now you're looking at the roster and being like, Gabe, what the heck is going on here? And let me explain it to you guys. So we have 12 playable characters across the entire game. You got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, Yoshi, Toad, Toadette, Rosalina, DK, and Diddy. So Toadette, Rosalina, DK, and Diddy are unlockable characters. You can unlock Rosalina, DK, and Diddy by scanning their respective amiibos in. Toadette doesn't have an amiibo, so you can't scan an amiibo to unlock Toadette. So you got to just keep playing the game normally to just randomly unlock Toadette, I believe. You also have 4 Toad characters: Red Toad, Blue Toad, Green Toad, and Yellow Toad. Now note, these are different from the Toad. You can see that regular Toad has the red dots but the blue vest. Red Toad has red dots, red vest. Blue Toad, blue dots, blue vest. Regular Toad is not playable in the same mode that these 4 Toads are playable in. And then you have 3 amiibo exclusive characters in the Mario Shuffle mode: Bowser, Bowser Jr., and Boo. These are all characters that are playable in this one mode if you scan their amiibo in, and are not playable anywhere else in this party. The colored Toads are playable in what's called Toad Scramble. This is technically the main mode of Mario Party Star Rush, and you can only play as the 4 Toad characters, and then you can get quote unquote allies. I don't remember exactly what they're called in Star Rush, but they're basically allies, and you can get some of these other characters like Mario, Peach, DK, Diddy, Yoshi, any of those characters on your team to help you get more stars or coins. With that being said, complicated roster. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10 for the sheer quantity. We got 12 quality characters. Again, Rosalina, DK, and Diddy replacing Birdo, Boo, and Drybones. This is Diddy's debut in a Mario Party, and also Rosalina and DK are kind of cool. If you want to simplify it, Diddy just replaces Spike from Mario Party 10. All right, now we're going to Mario Party, the top 100, and this is just an extremely disappointing roster, just like the entire game. They basically slapped Rosalina to replace Toad from Mario Party DS, who replaced Donkey Kong from Mario Party 3. Again, it's just 8 characters. It doesn't really change the fact that 8 characters are just going to stick it with a 3 out of 10 for me. You can't bump it up to a 4. It's just so lame and basic, and all these characters have been all playable. There's no one unique in this game. Next up, we got Super Mario Party. Here's our bread and butter. Up until this point, until Jamboree released, Super Mario Party had by far the largest character roster in all of the Mario Party series, and it wasn't even close. I mean, we had Star Rush with technically 19, but those were playable characters across multiple different modes that you couldn't cross play between the entire experience. This game, you have 20 playable characters, and you can play as every character across any mode in this party, which is incredible. There are so many newcomers and so many faces that have made grand returns. It's great. The top half is basically all of your mainstay characters that you've seen in all of the Mario parties before. Rosalina makes a comeback, Diddy Kong makes a comeback after Star Rush, but take a look at that bottom half of the roster. Bowser's a fully playable character now. Goomba for the first time playable. Shy Guy playable the first time since Mario Party 9, I believe. Koopa also playable for the first time since Mario Party 9, I believe. Monty Mole making his playable debut in a Mario Party game, which is super sick. Bowser Jr. first time playable since Mario Party Island Tour, and then that weird amiibo thing in Mario Party Star Rush. Hammer Bro, first time playable since Mario Party 8. Drybones, I believe, was not playable since Mario Party 8, so it's great to see him back as well. And Pom Pom, the weirdest Mario Party character to make her debut. You didn't expect that one at all, but I'm gladly welcoming her as well. 20 characters, you can't go wrong with that. And in my opinion, this is one of the best rosters that Mario Party has to offer, and it is so incredible that we got so many great minion characters alongside your main cast, and so many great hero sidekick characters as well. There's just so much variety in here, and I hope that every Mario Party going forward continues this trend. I'm giving this a perfect 10 out of 10. Good job, Super Mario Party. And from the beautiful highs of Super Mario Party to the crushing reality of Mario Party Superstars, we bring it back down to 10 characters. A game that released 3 years later than Super Mario Party halves the roster. Like, that's so sad. You got your mainstays, which is great, but I mean, come on. We were so spoiled with Super Mario Party. You couldn't have at least given us 12? 12 was like the standard that we've had since Mario Party 7. You couldn't even give us 2 more characters? Oh man, that's so unfortunate. Birdo makes a return after being weirdly absent from Super Mario Party, so welcome back, Birdo. But I mean, like, no one's really gonna use Birdo that much. This is the game where I really only use either Mario or Rosalina, so it's like, you know, there's not many characters to choose from. I know some people like their characters like Luigi and Yoshi and Waluigi. Like, every character's got their fans. It just could have been so much more. So because of that, I'm only gonna give this a 4 out of 10. It could have been better. and I'm so upset that we didn't get anything added on later. And that leaves us with Super Mario Party Jamboree. I mean, if I gave Super Mario Party on the Switch a perfect 10 out of 10, then I'm pretty sure you all know where I'm going to give Super Mario Party Jamboree. I'm also going to give this a perfect 10 out of 10. Call me out for the recency bias, but this is the largest roster in any Mario Party game ever. Again, adding 2 more characters than Super Mario Party, and that's before we even hear of any hypothetical DLC. Now, I'm going into this video assuming that Mario Party Jamboree is just not going to have any DLC, because I mean, why would it? There's just so many characters in it already, and Mario Party never gets DLC. They just keep making new games if they want to add more content, which I'm also fine with. Just more Mario Party content, the better. 22 characters is still a lot, and we got so many great returning characters. For example, Toad and Toadette make their first playable appearance on a Switch Mario Party. They haven't been playable since Star Rush, so it's great to see them back, and it's really, really cool that Toad and Toadette are back in the fold. Bowser's back from Super Mario Party. Great to see him back. Goomba also makes his return, as well as Shy Guy, Koopa, and Monty Mole. Bowser Jr. also coming back from Super Mario Party. And then we got Spike, who hasn't been playable since Mario Party 10, but he's gladly making a comeback in Mario Party Jamboree. And of course, the 2 newcomers we got to Mario Party Jamboree, Pauline and Ninja. Super awesome to see both of these characters come back. I know there's some odd omissions, like there's no Dry Bones, and there's no Hammer Bro, and no Blooper. Like, that makes me sad. This roster in and of itself, as of right now, pre any potential DLC, which again, I'm assuming there won't be any because it's a Mario Party game, is a perfect 10 out of 10. This is a fantastic character roster and a great way to keep the Mario Party series going. Hopefully we get more amazing character rosters like this in future Mario Party games. So that's it, guys. Here are my rankings for every single Mario Party game based on their character rosters. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Which character rosters did I rank too highly? Which ones did I rank too lowly? Let me know, please. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all my members for being so supportive. You guys mean the world to me, and thank you for giving me that motivation to just keep making the content for you guys. But to all of you guys as well, make sure you subscribe if you're new. We're trying to hit 15,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it if you did. Stay all pro, and I'm out of here.